From Davidson Fieldhouse on the campus of Southwest Baptist University in Bolivar. Tonight it's the 4A sectional game between the Hillcrest Hornets and the Glendale Falcons. I'm Rob Evans along with Don West and Darren Cates, and tonight it's the sectional round of the MSHSAA playoffs with the boys game being played first this evening. We hit the days of being politically correct, and so the early ball game has the number 3 ranked team in Class 4A state taking on the Hillcrest Hornets. Glendale comes in 26-2, and they defeated the Hornets twice this year, Don. But Hillcrest is playing good basketball now.
They're peaking at the time that they want to, Rob. They are winners of their district, which was in Lebanon last week. They beat the Yellow Jackets, a pretty good 4A team, in their district final. And they hope to derail this Glendale team tonight that comes in 26-2 and are ranked number 3 in the state.
Darren Cates is alongside. And Darren, you know, you talk about this Glendale ball club, and with Blake Will going back into the starting lineup, they're using the lineup that they used until the Tournament of Champions, and it got them off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, played pretty well with that lineup. And, you know, Blake getting back in the lineup is also a little bit of a matchup thing with Thomas Commody for Hillcrest, trying to match up a little bit better size-wise. And they're anxious to get him back in the lineup, back in the flow of things, and get this basketball team ready to go on, hopefully.
As for the other 4 Falcons that will start, you've got Ross, Thompson, Pickering, and Garwitz, and you've got 4 pretty good players who can play just about any spot out of the floor.
Very interchangeable, can defend about anybody on the floor and also play on the perimeter or go inside. So, you know, a tough matchup for other teams.
So settle back and enjoy the ball game. We'll be back with the starting lineups, and we'll have all the play-by-play when we continue. It's Glendale and Hillcrest from Southwest Baptist in Bolivar. Rob Evans, Don West, and Darren Cates back at Southwest Baptist in Bolivar. Yeah, the winner of this ball game will face the winner of the Troy Francis Howell North game that is being played in Washington, Missouri this evening. And the men of Troy are the team that took care of Jefferson City, one of 2 teams that defeated Glendale during the regular season.
Yeah, Troy, pretty good basketball team. And Francis Howell, though, no slouch of themselves. I think they've won about 16 in a row on their way to this point. So that's a good matchup there in Washington, Missouri.
So the 4A sectional and the starting lineups are going to be introduced by the public address announcer, and we'll see if we can join him. But first, before we do that, we're going to honor America with our national anthem. Our national anthem before the ball game here at Southwest Baptist. You take a look at the starting lineups. And Glendale, the home team, will be going with David Ross and Austin Thompson at the guard spots. Blake Will in the middle at the center position. And Ben Garwitz and Wesley Pickering, who is the Senior Player of the Year, the award given by the Springfield Tip-Off Club this past week. And he'll be the fifth starter for the Glendale Falcons. Mike Keltner, of course, the Coach of the Year for the outstanding year. Actually, co-coaches of the year, and we want to congratulate Greenwood's Mark Fisher. Terry Davis and Matt Boatwright will be the Hillcrest guards. Tom Commody at 6'7" will be in the middle, and Ben Martin and Kellen Allen will be on the front line. You really, Darren, have an interesting contrast here because you've got two post players at 6'6" and 6'7" in Commody and Will, but then the rest of the guys on both ball clubs are interchangeable, so the matchup should be pretty good.
Yeah, both teams are similar in a lot of different ways. You know, you hate to say that, but they very are. You know, you got the guys in the middle who like to play in the middle, and then you got perimeter guys who can interchange about any other position.
And you've also got, and both coaches need to lasso those post players every now and then, because both Commody and Blake Will have shown the ability at times to put the ball on the floor and get out on the floor and shoot a little bit.
Yeah, and this is going to be an interesting matchup, I think, from the standpoint of, you know, they've seen each other twice already. They know what each other is going to do. You know, Coach Harding was an assistant coach for Coach Keltner. It's just going to make an interesting matchup to see what the coaches do, maybe something a little different from what they did in their earlier matchups.
You see Blake Will, who had a broken finger, suffered in a game that we had here on Cable 36 earlier this year, the finals of the Tournament of Champions, one of two Glendale losses. That was against St. Raymond's out of the Bronx in New York. The other loss, as we mentioned, to Jefferson City. Jefferson City is out of the 4A state tournament. Mike Keltner in his 15th year looking for career win, number 290. We have the victory here this evening. Bill Keeter and Chris Koski are going to be the officials for this ball game, the first of two here on Cable 36 from Southwest Baptist in Bolivar. Greg Harding in his first year out on the hill, and 15-12 for the campaign. And they finished very, very strong to win their district and get a berth in this ball game tonight. So here we go. Hold on to your hats. Here's Don West.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Good evening from Bolivar, Missouri. The tap is controlled by Hillcrest in blue. Glendale, the home team, wearing white. Sectional round, the winner on to the quarterfinal in the round of 8 in Missouri State Class 4A. Kellen Allen will take it in for the Hornets. Misses the game's first shot, and Tom Commody gets the rebound in the corner.
You see Glendale early in the man-to-man, Don, right away, trying to put a little pressure on the basketball.
Commody up against Blake Will, and he couldn't get it in.
You see Ben Garwitz that time really getting up high for the rebound. He's going to be the interesting matchup for Hillcrest.
Ross and Pickering on the baseline. Ross battles it in. And Glendale on the board first.
Glendale now getting up, putting a little pressure on. There's something they wanted to try to do, try to speed the game up just a little bit.
That's something, though, that they've always tried to do this year, is to get, you talk about speeding it up, but they like to get the ball in transition. They score an awful lot of points that way, don't they?
Very good transition basketball team, especially offensive.
Allen into Commody. Allen gets it back, and a foul, and that's on Pickering, it looks like, from behind. But it's not.
You see on the replay here as Ross knocked it away. And then Ben gets back up. Clearly gets the arm of Calvin Allen, or Kellen Allen, excuse me. Makes him earn it from the line.
Kellen's first of two is good. We had the matchup between these teams on February 5th out at Hillcrest. Glendale won the game 57-36, but it's deceiving, folks. It was 21-20 at halftime, and Hillcrest had the lead. One free throw for Allen, 2-1 Glendale. And Will lost it, and he points the finger at Allen, but to no avail.
And that's the problem that you may see Blake will have a little bit coming off that hand injury. You know, catching the basketball is not an easy task, you know, when you're having trouble with your hands.
Here's Allen. 2-on-2, Commody kind of juggled it. Presence of mind to get it out to Boatwright, and Hillcrest able to set the offense, but there's a travel on Allen.
David Ross that time did a very good job because Will came out to challenge the ball. And then that meant that Ross, who was covering the guy dribbling the ball, had to get down to the block and help out on Commode, and he did a good job doing that.
Here's Will. Second chance, and he makes good. Ross and Will with the field goals for Glendale, and Allen with the one free throw for the Hornets. We played 2 minutes in the first quarter. Commode out to the right side for a three for Matt Boatwright.
That's what Hillcrest needs to try to stay in this game a little bit. They need to get some perimeter play from their guards, shooting the basketball, someone besides Commode getting in the scoring column.
Pickering back into the lane, and a block is going to be called on Ben Martin.
We saw in that last set that time that Glendale went a little bit 1-4 flat. This is something they've done here late in the year, a little bit of a change from the last time they played Hillcrest, trying to give room for their players, especially the perimeter players, to penetrate to the middle of the floor and create something off the dribble.
Thompson, he'll try the three. Commode the pull for the Hornets. Terry Davis down floor for Hillcrest. And Thompson with good defense on him. Commode comes out to get it at half court. Martin against Ross, and now Commode gives it to Allen, and he's going to be called for a charge.
And I think if you see the replay, you will see that it was contact torso to torso right there. You lower the shoulder, and
that's something as a young player, he'll learn a little bit better how to draw the contact instead of initiate the contact on that drive.
Well, he also plays a little football, and in football you want to initiate contact. In basketball you want to draw it.
Ross right wing for the Falcons. Thompson over to Will, not taking the long jumper. Garwitz down to Thompson baseline. Pickering down to Will. And he's called for traveling.
Blake Will at 6'6" in that matchup should not be dribbling the basketball on the ground like that. He should be taking the ball in the air to the rack. He had a good shot if he'd gone up. Nice angle for the bank shot.
Here's Ross with a steal. And Pickering is hitting the back. Boatwright gets the foul, and the Falcons' alertness gets an inbounds play underneath.
The only reason why I say that about Blake is because as a post player, that's what I was told all the time. You don't need to do that. You need to take the ball up.
Now, coaches don't like seeing post players put the ball on the floor with a bunch of other people running around. They want to see him get it up off the glass.
And Blake at 6'6" can do that very well should he choose to.
Falcons swing it to the left side to Will. Garwitz on the three-point line. Will at the foul line. Thompson and Garwitz now. We played nearly half of the first quarter, and we're tied 4-4.
And this is where we talked about, Glendale wants to make it a fast tempo game, but when they get in the half court, they're going to be very, very patient. They're going to take their time, and they're going to get a good shot.
Like this, three that won't go for Thompson. Hillcrest a chance to take the lead for the first time. But Davis gives it up to Pickering. On the run, and a foul. That'll send Pickering to the line, and Terry Davis guilty of his first personal and the fourth Hillcrest team foul.
And you see Glendale not afraid, even with the numbers against them, to take the ball to the basket in transition. That's what they want to do.
And you saw the result of Wes Pickering really showing his great hands. Everybody knows he's a really good baseball player. There he gets the steal, takes it the other way, and he just has great hands. Very quick. Athletic ability can be seen in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's speed, sometimes it's jumping ability. One of the most underrated aspects, I think, of athletic ability is good hands, and that's something that Wesley Pickering has.
You saw Chris Kuhn into the Hillcrest lineup, number 40. Pickering hits both. And Glendale on top, 6-4. Terry Davis as Glendale comes out to guard. Thompson, pass into Commode, and a foul. And and Will is charged with his first and the Falcons' second team foul.
Seems like that Hillcrest wants to get the ball to Commodore and take advantage of that matchup. They feel like they've got the advantage there offensively, don't they, Darren?
Exactly, that's where they get their scoring from. You know, and Glendale's put a lot of pressure on the perimeter, but Commodore's the outlet. That's the one person they can find open all the time. He's not being covered or denied the basketball.
This is Martin. Allen out at the three-point line, down to Commodore. Working against Will again. Garwitz gets a piece of it. Ross will have a layup and hits.
You notice that time down, though, once Commodore got down to the low block, they got around and tried to deny him the ball. And even though they got it to him, they kicked the ball back outside and got the turnover, did Glendale. So they lead 8-4, and we get a 20-second timeout taken by Hillcrest, Greg Harding.
Show Me Showdown 99. The Show Me State once again is in the grips of basketball fever and the MSHSAA Basketball Championships. This year's Class 3A and 4A Boys and Girls Championships will be decided March 12th and 13th at Hearn Center on the University of Missouri-Columbia campus. We're going to party like it's 1999. Show Me Showdown 99. Ticket information brochures from the MSHAA Show Me Showdown are available through your local State Farm agent and your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association.
And what a great combination. You have March Madness in 1999. Just what a great combination. A lot of partying like it's 1999.
Forgive me, when I wrote this, I was dreaming or something like that.
You wrote it, Grayson?
Forgive me if it goes astray. 2:50 to go, first quarter.
You can't improve upon perfection, can you?
Chris Kuhn loses it. Out of bounds.
And now there's a little interesting matchups on the floor for Hillcrest and Glendale both. Now that Blake Will takes a seat, they bring Matt Tinsley into the game. So who does Thomas Commodore have to guard now as the ball gets kicked out of bounds?
Well, what they're doing right now is they've got him planted right underneath the hoop in the zone. But that's fine because with Blake out of the ball game, Glendale gets a little bit better shooter in there at that position.
So that's the give and take there between the coaches. You know, is Coach Harding going to give up maybe an open look to Ben Garwitz or someone else who can knock it down from the perimeter?
Boatwright replaces Davis for the Hornets. 2:25 left in the first quarter. Glendale up 8-4.
In fact, what does he have? Two guys playing the semi-zone and then matching up every place else, or they drop into a man?
Now they're still in man-to-man, just Commodore dropping off of his man.
Tinsley out to Thompson. Keep your eye back to the right in that shot. Garwitz to the hole strong and a foul.
And there you go. The case in point is he's not up there close enough to defend him, and when he tries to get up there and go on the perimeter, Garwitz goes right by him, gets hammered in the back, puts it in for an easy two.
He exploded to the basket and goes to the line. His first points of the night. He'll try to make it a three.
And when Garwitz gets away from Commodore, he's just as strong taking the ball up as anybody else out on the floor, so he has the advantage there, doesn't he?
Most definitely.
7-point Glendale run after the 4-4 tie. Allen flips it in reverse style to end the Glendale run. Now Hillcrest back in a 2-3 look. We'll see what they do coming out of it. Thompson for three. Yes.
Well, he had missed his first two, but he wasn't shy in taking the third one. He just knocked it down with all the confidence in the world. And we talked about Commodore guarding somebody on the other end. Now Glendale has to come up with a matchup and finding someone to guard him on their defensive end.
Boatwright for the Hornets, up to Allen. Around to Ben Martin. We're down to the final minute of quarter number one, as you see. And here's a running jumper for Chris Kuhn. Now Ross out front will direct traffic, and we'll see how much time Glendale wants to burn here. We're down to 45 seconds to go in the quarter.
I would venture to say, unless they get a shot off the glass, they're probably not going to put it up until it gets under 10 seconds.
Still 25 left, and Glendale Hasn't worked it closer than about 12 feet. Now they do get it to Tinsley, and he's fouled. And a great fake to draw 2 men in the air.
Well, and you saw they had Pickering in jail, and what does he do? But he finds the open man who cuts to the basket right there. And there you get the ball fake and the free throws.
Tinsley for 2.
And that was a great cut that time by Tinsley to go back door, noticing that somebody was open. Somebody had left their man, and he cuts right to the basket. Pickering finds him.
Terry Davis in for Ben Martin for the Hornets. And Tinsley hits both. Now Blake Will returns in place of Ross. Falcons showing the pressure. Davis zips it ahead to Kuhn into forecourt. Your first quarter clock counts down. Down to 6. Hornets look for a shot, get an open 3, and it spins out from Boatwright. And that'll do it for one period of play in the Class 4A sectional round in Bolivar. It's Glendale 16, Hillcrest 8. Glendale up 16-8 after a quarter. Bill Keeter and Wes Pickering set to initiate play in quarter number 2.
I have not had a chance to see Wesley Pickering play baseball, but if he plays baseball as good as he does basketball, he can play on my team anytime.
He does.
In either sport.
Pickering loses the ball, and Boatwright picks it up underneath. Now Pickering's going to be called for riding him down floor.
Well, okay, we put the whammy on him, as they call it in the professional game. We Kurt Gouted him. He had the turnover and then the quick foul, but I tell you what, it doesn't take away from the fact that he's just had an outstanding year and is a very good player.
Terry Davis, Tinsley there on him.
Hillcrest really need to get a score here in one of these possessions here. They want to keep it close. They don't want to get 10 or more. Keep it close, stay in it as long as they can, hope for something good at the end of the game.
Taking care of the ball, a major key, and hitting shots like this. This one won't go for Davis. Tinsley will look things over. All the way. Garwitz, reverse layup, good.
He is just so exciting to watch. He can do things from so many different angles. Gets off the floor so well. Just fun to watch.
Hasn't tried a 3 this year, but he's not a bad shooter from out there. Shoots 69% from the floor.
It's easy to shoot 69% when you're shooting down at the goal.
Not as easy, though, when you're just 6'3", playing against primarily bigger guys, taller guys. Now the Falcons force turnover.
And I think he dreamed 6'3" up one night in his sleep, too. I don't think he's quite that tall.
He's got some hop, though.
Pickering can't get it, gets it back, and can get it. And will get the foul shot as well.
We were just a possession too late on our praise of Pickering, because there's a case of just wanting to get after it, and Greg Harding wants a timeout. 6:22 to go in the first quarter.
It's a full timeout. 20-8, Glendale on a run. Pickering's free throw is good after the timeout, so it's a 5-0 quarter for Glendale, and Rob, the run goes back even further than that.
3:07 in the first quarter when Hillcrest took their first timeout, so it's now, what, a 13-4 run for Glendale.
See Glendale here come out in a 1-3-1, a little bit of a trap defense, and Hillcrest handles it well.
Martin slashes to the hole and scores. 21-10 Falcons. Middle of the second quarter. Ross lost it, got it back, finds Garwitz. And he can't be stopped when he gets the ball at that point.
No, way too deep, and that's the problem that Hillcrest has. If you help off of him to try to stop David Ross there as he gets deep, then you're going to have to leave an open man right at the block.
Martin working with Ross. Commodie and Will. And a pass to Allen. And he gets it home. And the foul will be on Garwitz.
Nice pass that time from Commodore down there to Allen. Haven't heard much scoring-wise, really, lately from Commodore here, but he does a nice job of getting the ball off to the young sophomore, who a little bit like Garwitz can get up and finish.
Allen with 6 to lead the Hornet Charges. 23-13, Falcons by 10. David Ross takes a look over at the bench and goes to work. Garwitz out high, Ross beyond 3. Will, 18-foot jumper, a little too strong. Chris Kuhn, the Hillcrest rebound.
That was a case where Commodore never left the paint, really just giving up the open jump shot to Will and saying, if you hit it, you're probably going to beat us. If not, we're going to go the other way and try to cut in this 10-point lead.
Kuhn. Allen penetrates down against Garwitz, and Garwitz had to back off a little because he's got 2 fouls. He had to play soft, and Martin got an easy shot. And it's an 8-point game. And the Falcons give it up. Ben Martin out front. A chance to get within 6 or 5 for Hillcrest. Boatwright shooting the 2 and hitting. And here come the Hornets. And a timeout for the Falcons. 22nd timeout. 4:03 to go in the first half, and Hillcrest back within 6.
Well, you know, the SMS Lady Bears are playing in the Missouri Valley Tournament, and their first game will be Thursday. The second game they play will be shown on KY3 at 6 p.m. on Friday evening. If that happens, and there will be an investigation if it doesn't, Channel 36, Cable 36 will be carrying the University of Missouri's first game in the Big 12 tournament starting at 6 p.m. Friday. And if the Lady Bears should lose, and that's where I'm saying the investigation will come in, if they lose, then the Missouri game will be on Friday will be carried by KY3. So just to make it simple, if the Lady Bears win, Mizzou will be on Cable 36 Friday night at 6 o'clock in the Big 12.
Simple enough.
Now we're seeing a little bit of a zone look here from Hillcrest, as Glendale goes back to a little bit smaller lineup.
Across to Ross. Back across to Tinsley. Down to Garwitz baseline. Had the open shot. Too strong with it. Hillcrest can get within 4 or 3 this time. Martin. Tipped away by Garwitz. He'll be 1-on-2. Look at him go. And this is going to be, we'll see if it's a 2-shot foul, but what a move between 2 defenders by Garwitz.
Well, and he starts it all off by creating it on the defensive end with a tipped ball. Then Ross comes up with it, throws it ahead, and they get the spin. And I don't know what he was going to do with it there, but it was going to be something exciting.
Little French pastry maybe there after that. Garwitz for 2. Well, missed both. Allen open underneath, and Ross hacks it away. No foul, just an inbounds play for the Hornets.
So Allen wide open, left alone. Ross comes across, got the ball first, but may have got some other body parts after that.
Ball was gone, though, and that's probably the reason why they didn't give him the foul.
Ross steals the inbounds pass, and we'll get a traveling violation. Greg Harding and his staff on Chris Koski's case for not calling that himself. Bill Keeter called it from the other side. Here's Boatwright left side. The intensity cranks up a little.
Hillcrest really needs to try to find Commodie, there they do. He doesn't get the shot to fall.
Allen a rebound. Can't get it in. Commodie a third try. No. And a held ball this time. 3 chances, and Hillcrest will still keep the ball.
3 chances to cut the lead down to 4 after they were down 12. But again, I think they got back to Commodie, something they wanted to do.
And they fired all the way into backcourt. And Ross pokes it away. Wow.
He had a guard matched up on a post player there, and Ross was able to take advantage and steal it from Chris Kuhn.
Almost got another one. Kuhn into Allen. Working against Garwitz. Again, Ben with 2 fouls. And he'll have to be careful. 2:18 left in the half, as you see.
Trying to spread it back out here. Get some better spacing. That time they had 2 players on the block. Luckily for Hillcrest, they could pull it out and get some better spacing.
There's Boatwright over Pickering, and that one won't go. And Kuhn is whistled for an on-the-back foul. That's his second. Boatwright, Martin, and Kuhn all with 2 now. Terry Davis back into the lineup for the Hornets. And he'll be in for Boatwright, one of the Hornets who has 2 fouls.
And boy, Hillcrest right now has to be thinking about the missed opportunities that they had on the other end of the floor when it was just 23-17.
Thompson hits. The biggest lead for Glendale was at 21-8. And Hillcrest a nice comeback since that time. Garwitz now goes out as Will returns. Thompson missed the second. That's 1:56. That clock's kind of hard to read. Nine-point Falcon lead. Inside for Commodie. Misses again from close range. Allen. The pull-up, Jay, no. And Hillcrest getting some offensive rebound. But a turnover here, and Glendale will get it.
Well, you can't fault the effort from Hillcrest. They're giving it everything they got here. They just can't get shots to fall. Some of them really good shots from point-blank range.
Garwitz replaces Will. We're down to 1:23 to go in the half.
Getting Hillcrest back to the zone a little bit. Trying to save against some foul trouble and make Glendale shoot from the perimeter.
Thompson hits the 3. His second of the half. And the double-digit lead is back for the Falcons. At the 1-minute mark to go, first half. Here's Kuhn. Shook free from Thompson and missed the shot. Allen on the back this time.
Real dangerous time right now for Hillcrest. They're on the verge of letting the lead get to where it's going to be out of control for them. Again, not finishing shots and then compounding the problem by fouling on rebounds and letting Glendale go the other end and shoot free throws.
Ross will be shooting 2. That's the 10th team foul. Glendale has committed only 4 itself. Blake Will back in for Garwitz, and he'll sit the rest of the half with 2 fouls.
Glendale's a 69, almost a 70% free throw shooting team. Has a total ball club for the year, but yet I want to say they've missed 3 of their last 4 before that May.
And about 7 probably total for the half.
And I think it's 4 out of the last 5, so until that last one there, Ross knocked it down. That's, again, good news for Hillcrest. It could be even worse right now.
Commodie holding it out. Ross almost took it away. Kuhn gets it to Commodie in the lane. And there's Thompson. Flat on his back, ahead to Pickering. Over to Will, and the layup's good.
Now that's good basketball. Good defense on one end, transition offense, the bounce pass, and an easy layup by Blake Will.
Time is short for the Hornets. And this one rattles in for Ben Martin. And just ahead of the buzzer, but a big surge by the Glendale Falcons at the close of the first half. Halftime in Bolivar, Glendale 32, Hillcrest 19. Friends, role models are more important than ever in today's society. You serve as a role model for others the next time you display good sportsmanship at a high school athletic event. Good sports are winners and are vital to preserving our fine sports traditions. So the next time you attend a sporting event, remember to be a good sport and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. This message brought to you by your friends at the MSHSAA and Cable 36.
If you want to see the replay of tonight's doubleheader once again, the next showing will be Saturday, and it'll get started at 1:30. Also, we want to remind you that if the SMS Lady Bears win their first game at the Missouri Valley Tournament on Thursday, the second game they will play will be shown by KY3 at 6 p.m. on Friday evening. Now, if that happens, Cable 36 will be carrying the Missouri Tigers' first game in the Big 12 basketball tournament starting at 6 p.m. on Friday. If the Lady Bears should lose on Thursday, then the MU game will be Friday and it'll be carried by KY3. So that hopefully will avoid some of the confusion as to what's going to happen. If the Lady Bears win, then the Mizzou Tigers will be on Cable 36 Friday night starting at 6 o'clock.
A look at your first half scoring for the Hillcrest Hornets. Ben Martin and Kellen Allen with 6 each. Matt Boatwright had 5 and Chris Kuhn had 2 for the Hornets. Glendale spread it out really well as always. 7 points each for Ross, Thompson, and Garwitz. Pickering had 5, Will 4, and Tinsley 2. Those are all 6 of the players who got in the game for the Falcons in the first half. Everyone scoring, and everyone but Tinsley scoring at least 4 points. Typical Glendale ball.
Very well balanced. Again, very good flow to the basketball game for them. They've got some steals and got out transitions, scored some easy layups that way. Something they like to do.
They held Tom Commodie scoreless, too.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest probably aspect of the game, Rob. What do you think?
Well, you take a look at the last game between these two ball clubs, and I'm trying to find the score sheet, but if I remember right, Don, Thomas Commodie had a basketful in the first half, but he also ended up with over 20 points in the ball game.
We will check that and see. That's the February 5th game that Glendale won by 21, but it was a close game at halftime. He had 6 in each half, 12 total. Allen had 14. He was just 2 behind Allen in the scoring department there. Halftime, 32-19 Falcons, and we'll be back. We're at halftime. Glendale on top of Hillcrest 32-19. Don West, Rob Evans, and Darren Cates at Davison Fieldhouse in Bolivar. Sectional round, Missouri State Class 4A basketball playoffs. The winners play in Sedalia this coming Saturday against the winner of Troy and St. Louis Francis Hal North. Both those teams with good records. Troy Buchanan at 25-2, Francis Hal North at 21-6 for the year. Glendale itself at 26-2 and ranked number 3 in the state, as we told you. If they win, would enter some pretty high company in keeping with their win total for the year, which would be 27 if they get it. And only 6 Springfield schools all time have won 27 or more basketball games in a season. 3 of them were in succession, the Parkview Jolly Green Giants in 64, 5, and 6. Kickapoo won 28 last year to match Central in 1962. And the all-time champion of wins in a season is the old senior high before there were any other Springfield high schools, with 30 wins against 3 losses in 1945.
Well, speaking of Central, let's congratulate Ron White and the Dogs on an outstanding year, winning their district in Class 3A, going over and beating some pretty good schools and having to knock off Rogersville in the district finals. They're playing Jeff City Elias, I believe, tonight up at Rolla. Glendale at 26-2. number 2 in the Midlands region, according to the AP National High School poll. That was at the end of last month. So they're keeping some pretty good company regionally, if not nationally. Glendale keeps the ball to start the second half, and it's kicked out of bounds.
In case you're wondering about the loss total of 2, no Springfield team has ever gone undefeated in a year.
Pickering misses underneath. Thompson with a rebound. Outside to Ross.
The Jolly Green Giants lost only 1 game in 65 and 66. And a handful of teams have lost only 2.
Turnover. Hornets have the basketball. Terry Davis and Matt Boatwright play catch, and now Ben Martin will touch.
And not assuming anything, but if Glendale wins this game, and if Glendale wins a state championship this year, that would be their 30th win, and they would match the all-time city high.
Kellen Allen into the lane. Draws the foul, less than 60 seconds in. Austin Thompson will pick up his first. Free throw, bangs off, no good. In the Midlands region, the number 6 team is DeSmet out of St. Louis. And Kansas City Pembroke Hill at 20-1. As Allen misses both, he gets his own rebound. Missed that one. Commody cleans it up and lays it in. And Tom Commody with his first 2 for the night.
That's good news for Hillcrest. I think that's something that Coach Harding wanted to see happen. Get him involved early here in the second half. Get him on the scoreboard. Get him some points for his team.
Garwitz outside to Tinsley as Glendale opens small to start quarter number 3. Tinsley just beyond the foul line, missed it. Garwitz with a rebound. The putback hits the side of the board, but Thompson there to clean up the trash. He has 9. Austin Thompson with a pair of threes and that putback. 34-21. Glendale with the lead. 90 seconds into quarter number 3. We get a whistle and a foul, and Commody's going to get whistled for the takedown. That'll be his second. In wrestling, that's worth 2 points. In basketball, in Commody's case, it's worth 2 fouls, his second. Two-two tie here in the quarter. Glendale with the ball. Ross underneath to Garwitz. He'll miss it from the baseline. Pickering with a tip. And Garwitz comes back to tip it in.
It looked like a nice set that time in volleyball as Garwitz got the final tip to go in.
And a 20-second timeout taken by Hillcrest. They have used all of their 20s. In fact, they have just 2 full timeouts remaining in the game.
Show Me Showdown 99. The Show Me State once again seems to be in the grips of basketball fever and the MSHSAA Basketball Championship. This year's Class 3A and 4A Boys and Girls Championships will be decided March 12th and 13th at Hearn Center in Columbia. We're going to party like it's 1999 at Show Me Showdown 99. Ticket information brochures for the MSHSAA Show Me Showdown are available through your local State Farm agent and your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association.
Ben Martin will trigger the inbounds to Allen, Davis, Boatwright, and Commody out there for Hillcrest. Ross, Tinsley, Will, Thompson, and Pickering on the floor for Glendale as Garwitz comes out at the timeout. 36-21 from the corner. 3-ball. Good! Matt Boatwright with his second trifecta of the game. He has 8.
Well, there they go. They got a little bit of scoring there. Now they got to come up with stops.
Ross breaks him down to the dribble, puts it high off the glass and in, but take it off the board. An offensive foul is going to be called on David Ross.
See here, going with the left hand, stepping over that time is Kellen Allen. Slid under and drew the call.
If you're going by torso-to-torso contact, it was there and it was solid. If you're going by movement, Allen was still moving. So you make the determination as to what it is. Pass stolen away, knocked away from as Allen tried to feed it to the post. Ross off to Pickering for the layup.
Well, and right when Hillcrest thinks we're getting a little run going, Glendale comes up with a steal. Big defensive play, then an easy basket. And basically, Glendale has gotten most of their points tonight from their defense or from the offensive boards.
Commodity lost the handle. Ross picks it up. It's a 4-on-2 break, and Ross will take it himself. Too hard. Thompson with the rebound. Tinsley. Yes. 4 for Matt Tinsley.
He missed the medium-range jumper there earlier, and I had a feeling he wasn't going to miss it the second time. He's such a pure shooter from any range. You don't see a lot of high school kids anymore who have that mid-range jumper that Tinsley owns.
There's a long 3, fired up by Terry Davis. It's no good. Pickering ahead to Ross. Ross finishes and draws the foul. 9 for David Ross, and he'll shoot foul shots. He draws the foul on Matt Boatwright, and that'll be his 3rd.
We've seen Ross lead the break quite often here this evening, and that time it was Pickering leading the break, giving it off to Ross. And right now is the point where Hillcrest may be remembering getting beat twice earlier in the year by this same Glendale team.
So Boatwright now with 3 fouls. Ross hits the 3-point play. He has 10. Glendale leads 43-24. And it was a 12-point game, and it's now a 7-0 run to make it a 19-point margin midway through the 3rd quarter. Allen with the basketball, down to Commodity on the baseline against Will, and a hold is going to be called on Blake Will.
Yeah, Blake's not going to like the call, but you see here he's got his hands right there on him, and Commodity turns and the ball kind of comes into him. But long before that ever happened, Blake had his hands on him. That's generally going to draw the call.
Second foul on Blake. 3-ball left side pocket goes down the well for Kurt Plattner. Plattner just checked in. And it's 43-27. 3.5 minutes. Clock approaching. Left to go in the 3rd. Thompson. And a block is going to be called as he kicks it outside to Tinsley. Ball will go out of bounds underneath. And Ben Martin is going to pick up the foul. And if that's Martin, it'll be his 3rd.
See there again, tough to call. That's the toughest call in basketball. I always think it's called on perception anyway.
Thompson misses from the baseline, and Kellen Allen with a rebound. The perception of what?
Well, I say, how the person falls and how the official sees him after the fact, not necessarily if he's moving or not.
Will denies the pass, tips it ahead to Thompson, who feeds it up to Tinsley, who missed the layup. And Chris Kuhn grabs the rebound, and he'll come the other way for the Hornets.
You see Coach Keltner get off the bench. He's got a 16-point lead here in the 3rd quarter, but he's still not very happy. His team missing a golden opportunity there.
Kuhn will hand the ball to Ben Martin, who will run the ball club with 2:45 remaining in the 3rd. Allen catches in traffic, fades, missed it. Commodity hooks it up, didn't see the basket as he fired it off the glass. Glendale the rebound. Ross had it poked away by Commodity. Plattner in the open floor, picked up by Thompson. Unable to take advantage of the man advantage, and they find Allen sneaking down the lane. Kellen Allen with 8 points.
Nice pass that time, too, from Martin. He waited just for the right time for Allen to slip in past the defender, give him a nice feed.
Ross out front, Pickering to Thompson. They move the ball around the perimeter. Tinsley now. Under 2 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. The lead is 14.
Now, this is one of the things I think Coach Keltner does a great job of, and the fact that the pace of the game is in his favor, but it got a little too hectic. He wants to kind of clean it up a little bit, so he changes his offensive set where it slows it down a little bit.
Takedown of the lane, contact at the high post, and what's the foul going to be? Kellen Allen's going to get hit with his 3rd foul. Meanwhile, away from the ball, you saw Commodity and Will with a double takedown. And there you see that, and there's where the foul occurred as Kellen Allen got hit.
And this is a non-contact sport, is that correct?
Garwitz in, takes it to the basket off the inbound. 45-29. Allen working on Blake Will. Will forced him to shoot over the top, and Allen left it short. Blake with a rebound. Ross firing it ahead to either Garwitz or Austin Thompson, and he fired it too high and too hard and out of bounds.
And that's a case where, both those guys were open, no one was around, but it was going to be a tough pass and tough catch. You just don't need to make it in that situation.
Tinsley will come in at the next break. We have a minute, 5 seconds left to play. Plotner with the ball outside. And when you see Hillcrest bring the ball out to the point guard, they bring him way out near mid-floor. Allen at high post. Glendale clamps down the defense at about the three-point line. Davis looks to penetrate. Ross went for a steal. Kuhn fires the jump and connects. Or excuse me, it's Wayne Stevenson who hits the basket. Stevenson in at the last break. 45-31, half a minute to play. Thompson with the basketball. Tried to split a double team, and Bill Keeter detects a personal foul. And Terry Davis is going to be guilty of his second. Boatwright, Martin, and Allen all have 3. Kuhn and Davis have 2, along with Commodity for Hillcrest. Will and Garwitz, the only 2 Glendale players with 2 fouls. 21 seconds to play. You see the clock. 45-31, Glendale.
And they're trying to spread it out a little bit, use the clock. They'll go when it gets to about 10 or a little bit under.
Pickering finds Blake Will, and he travels with it. I'm not sure that that's the guy they wanted coming around that corner. And the turnover, the travel, gives it back to Hillcrest with plenty of time.
Be a big boost here for Hillcrest. They could get some sort of score out of it.
It's going to be a long shot as Plotner runs from the top of the key, and it comes up just short at the end of the third quarter. It's Glendale 45, Hillcrest 31. Hillcrest with the ball. Greg Harding thought that Plotner was fouled at the end of the quarter, but didn't get the call. But the Hornets do keep the basketball, and they have a chance to cut into the 14-point lead. Glendale led by as many as 19 points. There's Plotner for 3. He missed it, no good, but Allen with the rebound and the putback.
Boy, and has the sophomore been big for Hillcrest. Been extremely active all evening long.
12-point game, Glendale with the lead of the ball. Thompson. He's hit some big shots for them this year. That one may not be in the course of things, but it kind of turns the tide just a little bit, doesn't it?
Anything to stop a run is a big shot, and that's exactly what happened there.
Pass underneath, tipped by Garwitz. Pickering leads the break in transition. Hillcrest slow getting back, but Glendale can't take advantage, though they do get to the free throw line.
Now, something that will go unsung there, as you see, Pickering waited and paused just for the slight second where he could get the ball through to Tinsley on a good angle and where Tinsley could do something with it. Didn't give it up too early, waited for just the right time to give it up, and Tinsley will have an opportunity to knock down some free throws.
Davis with his 3rd foul. Free throw is good, and here comes Ross for Glendale.
But what goes unsung about that, and a lot of people say we just make the pass. Well, you have to wait for the right time to make the pass. That was something Magic Johnson did so great. John Stockton still does so great. And that goes, unheard of, is the fact that their timing is impeccable.
Martin in for Hillcrest, and now Ross comes back. There you see Ben in to trigger the inbound. And Ross is in. Tinsley is out for Glendale. They'll go Ross, Thompson, Pickering, Garwitz, and Will.
Now the problem for Hillcrest here is they've been waiting patiently for a long time with 16 points down. Over 6 minutes left to go, but time's running out on your season now.
Garwitz with a block. Pickering ahead. Garwitz takes it and lays it in.
Oh my. What can you say but oh my.
13 points for Ben Garwitz. Kellen Allen into the lane. Gets it back out to Martin. 51-33. Commodore high off the window. Garwitz cleans the glass and is fouled. No, a held ball as Chris Kuhn jumped in to tie him up. But it's going to still result in Glendale keeping the basketball. Commodore a little too hard there, and you see Garwitz going up and Kuhn coming in and getting a hand on the ball. Hillcrest applying a little pressure in the backcourt, and Ross will beat it with a dribble. Two minutes into the fourth quarter, Blake Will finds Pickering, gets 2 men in the air and draws a foul. And that's Martin, and that will be his fourth. And Hillcrest foul trouble beginning to show right now, guys.
Boy, it's tough to get out and pressure the basketball and try to press an open floor when you're in such foul trouble.
Free throw is in and out and back in for Pickering. Wesley with 8. You know, on that last sequence there, you saw that Commodore could have been hit for a foul as well, but Martin had already committed the foul before Thomas tried to block the shot up high. Pickering with 8, looking at 9, and he gets it. 20-point lead for Glendale, their biggest margin of the night with 5:50 left to play. Second game of our doubleheader will be the Kickapoo Lady Chiefs against the West Plains Lady Scissors. Allen cuts through, runs into Garwitz, and a block is going to be called. So Garwitz will pick up his third foul. Check this one out. You can see Allen coming around the corner, and he tried to flop. He was leaning back before the contact occurred, and officials don't like it when you try to fool them.
So I like the curl that time by Allen. He didn't come off that screen high. He came real tight and curled around. You know, he's going to be a heck of a player when he gets older. You know, pretty good one now.
Just a sophomore. 3 ball by Plattner, no good. And Glendale with the rock and a 20-point lead, but they lose it as it's poked away. Allen picks it up in the open floor. He's going to go to the hoop. Pickering steals it away. And a foul called. I couldn't tell if it was the outside official who called the foul down to the baseline, but you'll see right here the reach in, and looked like he had some ball there.
Well, see, you can't really tell whether he fouled him or not, but I'll tell you from a coaching standpoint, that's an automatic. I mean, they're just going to call that whether you get that clean or not. You reach across the body, it's an automatic.
Folks, the score of any athletic event is generally forgotten over time, but the actions of players, coaches, and spectators leave lasting impressions. The next time you attend a high school game, think of how history will remember you. Choose good sportsmanship and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Remember, the lessons you teach today will help develop better citizens in our communities for tomorrow. This message brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and TCI of Springfield.
Greg Harding in his first year as the head coach out on the Hill has done a pretty good job with this ball club.
And I think the future is very bright out there. You know, he's got things going in the right direction, got a district championship, got a lot of good young players on the way up. So I think Hillcrest is going to be a good basketball team for a long time to come.
Commodore missed it. Glendale has the rebound, and they're going to work things around the perimeter. Just under 5 minutes left to play in the game. Falcons lead by 20. Thompson, cross floor to Garwitz. They'll get it to Will in the post. He'll drop in and have the ball stripped away, but he'll shoot free throws.
See the nice entry pass that time. He reverse pivots here and looks like ball knocked away, but Boatwright got in and got a little piece of the arm.
4 on Boatwright. So he and Martin have 4 fouls. And Will missed the free throw. Blake's a 61% foul shooter, averages 10 points a game. Second toss, good. He has 5.
I think this is something that, you know, if Glendale does hang on here and win and going on, they're going to have to improve their free throw shooting and what could be some closer games as far as margins are concerned.
Commodity outside to Allen. You talk about some young players, and there's one of them, Kellen Allen, with 12 points.
You know, his first sectional game, and he hasn't backed off a bit here.
Down to the 4-minute mark. 19-point Glendale lead. Ross head of the circle. Under 4 minutes now. Pickering down to the post. Trying to feed it outside, and Kellen Allen with a steal. Into the corner. 3-ball blocked by Thompson. Boatwright went to fire it up, and you can see Greg Harding say, give him a little head fake, let him fly by, and then you got the wide open look.
Yeah, they need scoring in bunches right now. They got to get it in a hurry, then they got to get stops.
Kuhn missed the jumper, and Garwitz with the rebound. Glendale leading rebounder, only gets about 4 a game, but when you shoot the ball the way Glendale normally does, there's not that many rebounds to be had. There's the turnover, and then Ross will steal it right back. .310 remaining as the ball comes outside. There's some hand-to-hand combat on the post, and Bill Keeter says a foul on Tom Commodity, and that will be his third. 23 rebounds a game, but Glendale out-rebounds their opponents by 9. There's just not a lot of rebounds when they play normally because they shoot a high percentage.
They shoot a high percentage. They get a lot of, you know, steals on the defensive end. Their opponents don't get a lot of shots up, so like I said, not a lot of shots from either team when they play.
Ross missed the front of a 1-and-1. Glendale by 19. 54-35. Commodity thought about a 3, but doesn't take it. Kellen Allen's going to go baseline. A reverse layup that won't fall, but a foul will be called. And Kellen will shoot 2. Don is poring over the record book. What do you...
Just that Glendale, Rob, has been to 2 Final Fours under Mike Keltner, both in one in just his second year in '86 and then again in 1990, but he has not won a game in Columbia. He took 4th place both of those years, so maybe that's something that secretly drives Mike Keltner this year with the team, with the talent level he has.
Allen hits the first free throw. Did you see that acrobatic move going to the rack there, Darren?
Well, he's just got such an explosive first step. You know, he gets by you in a hurry. It's that Louisiana Bayou type Bayou. I mean, just quickly.
Leaves you all alone, which is by yourself. Tinsley with the basketball. What they always said down there in Cajun country, the loneliest bayou is by yourself. Glendale's going to play keep away now. We have 2.5 minutes to go. You see the game story. And we have a foul called on Kellen Allen, and that'll be his 4th.
That's going to be the 10th team foul. That'll put Matt Tinsley at the line for 2 now, shooting the double bonus.
And Tinsley hits the first. 55-34 with 2.5 to go. Six points for Matt Tinsley. And it's back to a 19-point game. Nice interior pass by Commodity, but Hornets unable to finish until Tom gets the rebound and puts it back. Want to look at one of the keys of the night. That's only his 4th point of the game.
I really think you have to give him credit in that situation there. You know, you're down to 2 minutes. You only have 2 points on the night. Could easily give up and not be as active as he has been here late. Makes a nice pass, then follows it up, follows another teammate's shot, and puts it back in.
And Hillcrest still trying to do some guarding defensively. Thompson into the lane, gets it to Ross, who brings it back out front with 1:43 to go.
And they knew this was going to be a tough battle for them tonight. It was going to be an uphill battle for them. But you have to, take your hats off to them for going through, winning their last 3 games, winning a district title. Again, just in Coach Harding's first year there.
Ball knocked away. Pickering runs it down in mid-floor with 1:20 to go.
Beating Kickapoo in triple overtime to start their run out the second to last week of the season.
Wesley Pickering in double figures with 11. Glendale with 4 double-figure scores tonight.
And it's nice for Coach Harding leading that program over there at Kickapoo, being an assistant to Coach Green and getting a win against them late in the season.
Commodie with 6 as he lays it in. And how about this? The 2 teams that stay home this year among the 5 Springfield public high schools on the boys level might be the second and third best, quote unquote, in town. Parkview and Kickapoo, all state ranked, or both state ranked during the course of the year. Garwitz with 15, and this one within a minute.
And we had all talked about this all year long about how, basketball in Springfield was definitely up, and now you see after district play, you can see the results of that. You see Central winning a district crown, you see Glendale winning a district crown, and now sectional game, you see Hillcrest winning a district crown. And then the other 2 schools, like you say, finished second and third in the conference. They're sitting at home, but they're very good basketball teams also.
And they've said they finish at home because they happen to be matched up with the team going to the quarterfinals in Glendale. Glendale is going to clear the bench. Nathan Forbes, Chad Hammond, Andreas Mueller in the ball game. Kellen Allen with 16 points now. And a whistle and a foul. Clayton Casey is also on the floor for Glendale, along with Joey Ashcroft. So they have Hammonds, Forbes, Casey, Ashcroft, and Mueller out there.
Andreas. You gotta like when the big fella gets into the game.
Andreas has a year left.
As foreign exchange student, though, he'll be going back, I believe, to Germany. Is that right? Yes. It would be nice if he could be back as far as Glendale's concerned. Free throw is missed. But you notice, though, tonight, Glendale playing about 6 or 7, maybe. 6. Commodie. We have 15 seconds to go. He has 8 points now. 60-45. It's the old Pat Riley theory. You get down to postseason time, you play 6, you trust 5. And Glendale is going to use that theory and win the quarterfinal round game. 60-45. The Falcons win it, and we'll be back. Glendale with a 60-45 victory, and a very workmanlike night at the office for the Falcons, Darren. 16-8 first quarter, 16-11 second quarter, 13-12 third quarter, 15-14 fourth quarter, and they led all the way.
Yeah, really just kind of went about their business, took care of things when they needed to. Really turned it up, I thought, defensively, and on the defensive end, created a lot of their offense from the defensive end of the floor.
And got in transition when they needed to. And I would think that if you're Mike Keltner, they made just enough mistakes tonight so he can have their attention come tomorrow.
I would say, he hasn't seen the perfect game yet, and he's in quest of that. I know that. Like I said, he had a 16-point lead in the third, fourth quarter, and that's what makes him a great coach, is that he never quits coaching. It doesn't matter what the score is, doesn't matter what time of the game it is, he never quits coaching, and that's great for his kids because they learn something from that. They learn that, you can't quit and ease up at any time.
Take a look at the scoring in the ball game, Don. You've got the scoring results, or I'll give them to you. Garwitz with 15. 11 from Thompson and Pickering. Ross with 10, 4 double-figure scores. Tinsley with 6, and Blake Will with 5. Allen with 16 for Hillcrest, their lone double-figure score. Boatwright and Commodie with 8. Most of Tom's late. In fact, I want to say 6 of his 8 were inside the last couple of minutes of the ball game. Ben Martin with 6. Kurt Plotner hit a 3, and then Chris Kuhn and Wayne Stevenson with 2 points apiece. So Glendale improves to 26-2 for the year. or should I say, what is it, 27 to them? A win off.
And Glendale sets a school record for wins tonight, defeating or besting the old record of 26, held by the 1980 team under Jack Roberts and the 1990 team, coached by Mike Keltner, that did go to the Final Four. So Glendale with number 27 in the books and on to Sedalia on Saturday for quarterfinal round play.
We'll be back to wrap things up. Glendale wins it 60-45 right after this. Glendale with a 60-45 victory over the Hillcrest Hornets as the boys game complete here at Southwest Baptist in Bolivar. And of course, coming up in just a couple of minutes, it'll be the number 2 team in Class 4A state on the girls' side, the Kickapoo Lady Chiefs, against West Plains. And that should be an interesting ball game.
West Plains, the number 3 team in Class 4A girls state. So this is quite a matchup in the sectional round. Coming up next, the Lady Chiefs of Sue Schubel looking to move on in the state again, and Scott Womack's West Plains Lady Zizzers, tough as always, and doubly tough with senior Corinne Sabar leading the way for the Lady Zizzers.
And that'll be coming up, but first, this timeout on Cable 36.